because you know what I saw all week before yesterday was people saying the Cowboys will probably lose on the bye. So I was like, you know what? Let's lean all the way into that and tell me why you think that's going to be. Cowboys lose because, Cowboys win because against the bye.
They cannot lose against the bye.
Can't they?
They cannot. They cannot lose against the bye. There is no way for their record to change, other than the other teams that are playing this week win. Now that would change things, but they can't physically lose a game.
Well, we'll see about that.
All right.
Have you seen this defense?
Yes.
All right.
I have.
Cowboys lose because despite putting up their best defensive effort of the season, they lose to the bye 17-14.
Okay.
Hey, that's a positive. They only gave up 17 points against the bye.
This morning, Bobby,
which is as many points as got scored yesterday combined. Did you see that game?
Yeah, that was brutal. Bo Nix was he was a lot of bad Bo Nix. Like, we talk about good Bo, bad Bo. That's a different Bo, but at the same time.
There was that wide-open throw down the left side to the end zone that, I don't know, bounced like 6 yards short. What was that? Yeah,
there was a lot of, every time he would do something good, he would do three things bad. And I was like, man, that's not and it's not like the Vegas was the one giving him fits. It was him doing it to himself throughout that game. That's got to be very frustrating for Sean Payton. But Bobby threw this stat out this morning, Kevin, regarding the Cowboys. And he said that after playing the Cowboys, teams are averaging 15 points less. And Choppy was trying to make it sound like the Cowboys beat people up so much that their bodies just physically can't handle it.
So bad.
I was like, no, it's because they give up so many points.
Yeah.
It's the average.
Yes.
The average number comes back to the norm against other opponents.
See, this person gets it. Cowboys win against the bye because Mozzie Smith said goodbye to the franchise and went somewhere else.
Yeah, he is.
So that kind of feels like a win.
That's a positive for sure.
It is also a shout out Friday from the 469. Shout out to me. That's that person.
Okay.
Today is their 44th birthday. That is Nathan from Forney, home of the 10-6A district champion Rabbits. Is it Jack Rabbits, right? Not just regular rabbits?
I think they're the jackalopes.
That's not a real animal,
Kevin,
right?
I'll be in Forney for the next Cowboys game against Vegas. So I'll be in. That's the next Bearded Monkey event that I'll be doing.
Okay,
so be ready for that. I'll see you out there, person. Nathan.
Okay. You're doing a great job.
I had to read through it real quick.
Okay, you're doing a great job. I don't think this is going to happen on the bye week. For the 9-7-2, Cowboys win because Jerry finally randomly decides to sell the team.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that feels
there's no way.
Very unlikely.
Especially after they made these big trades. Jerry wants credit for those trades.
Yeah.
So there's no way that he's going to sell the team right now.
Oh, this is a great
point. During the bye week.
From the 214. Don't say they can't lose on the bye. Craig got fired on his day off, Corey. It's a good point. If he can get fired on his day off, the Cowboys could lose on the bye.
How are you going to get fired on your day off?
Cowboys lose because they're overwhelmed that they have to go 6-2 to make the playoffs, and they're like, it's too much. So they'll go ahead and concede a game right now to fall further back in the standings.
From the 8-5-8, have some faith the Cowboys are undefeated against the bye over the eternity of their franchise history. But, so do you think that seriously, this team is looking at it going, all right, all we have to do is go 6-2 on the back half of the schedule, or do you think they're thinking we just got to make it through this season?
Yeah, but I think it's even different than that. I think, and they'll tell you this up and down, left and right, is you just have to focus on the Raiders, right? Like that's what they're going to tell you. It's just a series of one-game
Because if you do that,
seasons.
then the next week you can say the same thing, and if you've won, then you're like, well, I mean, we say the same thing, and then we keep stacking those up, right? Keep stacking up wins.
And that makes a lot of sense if you're behind it, right? Because I don't understand how a team that could ever be down in a series 3-0 and be like, all we got to do is win 4 in a row. No,
we just got to win one pitch.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to win
at bat.
One pitch, one at bat, one game, one basket at a time, whatever the case might be. And I think that's the same thing here. You know what? We haven't even considered this. This is the most logical thing in the world.
One coxswain at a time.
Not that.
That's in rowing. That's in rowing, Alan. The guy that's in the front of the boat.
Thank God you used a W and not a T, right? All right. So, okay, Alec, that should be fine. Those are letters of the alphabet. All right? Get it together, Corey. So we're ignoring the fact that what's really going to happen is the Cowboys are going to tie on the bye. Look, they already have one tie. They're obviously going to tie
that would
on the
make
bye.
sense. That would make sense with this team.
For the 6-0-1, Cowboys win because Quinnen Williams allows 0 rushing yards for the first time this season. That's a good point. He's a beast against the rush, so that's why the Cowboys win. And Quinnen Williams said he wants to win.
He does want to win because he was on a bad team, and fortunately he came to an undysfunctional franchise.
Do you think when he got traded, he was like, well, it couldn't be worse? And he goes, I was hoping it would be a little bit better.
He was like, I was kind of thinking, maybe the Patriots.
Like, the biggest loser in all of this was Breece Hall. He almost got traded to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hold on, all my friends left, and I could have gone to play for the Chiefs? But instead, no, he's still stuck there. Alec, do you have any Cowboys win because Cowboys lose because against the bye?
I don't know. I feel like the stat that they're undefeated against the bye all time is kind of rattling around in my head. So I'm going to have a lot of positivity here. But I would say Cowboys win the bye because they just take some time to reset. There's been a lot going on, obviously, this week. But this whole season, I feel like, especially after a game that you lost that you shouldn't have lost, in my mind, in Vegas's mind, and pretty much everybody's mind, they really just needed some time to kind of step back, reevaluate. And then, hey, Jerry sweetened the pot a little bit by making a couple of moves to try to help. So get everybody acclimated, let people kind of simmer down a little bit. There's a lot going on right now. And come back fresh, and everything's going to be A-OK. But Cowboys lose the bye because, they just
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Now, this is, while we're having some fun with this, on a serious scheduling note, this is the second of 3 straight Sundays with no Cowboys football because you had the Monday night game last week, obviously the bye this week, and then the next game is also on a Monday. Does it feel odd at all
Is the next game on a Thursday?
No, then they have a game on Sunday and then
Thursday. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, is it odd?
Man, that's a really short, condensed schedule.
Yes.
Monday, then Sunday. Yeah, wow.
Absolutely. I mean, at least it's off the bye, but off the bye, wouldn't you think like, hey, give us that early Sunday game,
which
so we
means
can have more time.
you could get 3 real quick wins or 3 real quick games.
Yes, you could. Look, in the span of 10, 11 days, you have 3 games, and that gets talked about a lot with the Cowboys. But is it odd to see that scheduling quirk where 3 straight weekends and 4 of 5 weekends, you do not have a Sunday game?
I feel like, Kevin, there was early on when we started working nights, there was a time where they played like 3 games in like 12 days or something, like something, or 10 days, something ridiculous where we were like, this is insane. So, yeah, it seems to happen to them, though, because they do love the Thanksgiving game. But I always am curious, why would you put them on that Monday night before the Sunday? But at least it's an early Sunday game, right? It's not a Sunday night game where they only have 4 hours of sleep before they got to get back to work on Monday morning.
The afternoon slot.
That's fine. That's better than Sunday night, though, for sure.
That is true. From the 817, never rule anything out, because Channel 8 had a closed caption that said Cowboys trade Maggie Smith to the Jets.
Look at that.
Is that the lady from Downton Abbey? Or she just feels like she would be in a movie or a TV show like that. Cowboys tie because they hold the offense to 0, and then they score 0, and then that puts them essentially at 4-6. Another tie would be helpful because then that just means 1 win and 1 loss, and I think everyone would understand better.
So they're suggesting that this Cowboys team will score 0 points in a game?
I mean,
that hasn't been their MO so far, but they are working that direction right now, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how things are going at the moment?
Yeah,
their offense isn't turning things around.
That is fair. Now,
that was my biggest concern early in the season, was the Cowboys' offense looking as good as it was, but I was like, I don't know if it can keep this up. And here we are hoping that they can, reboot a little bit in this bye week.
We talked about the expectations a little bit right after the draft. What are you really thinking you can see in terms of improvement with Quinnen Williams, with Logan Wilson? Because, here's another stat I saw for Quinnen Williams. He's beaten 57 double teams to generate pressure since 2022. That's the most of anyone in that span. And his 190 pressures in that span is 4th most among defensive tackles. So even though we talked about he's slowed down at getting pressure on the quarterback and gotten better at the run, he's still does great getting to the quarterback for a DT.
Yeah, and he even talks about that too, like the fact that, hey, look, my pressures might be this, but I'm doing this. I know what I'm doing, right?
Sure.
And he knows that he's good at making being not necessarily a run stuffer, but helping cause problems when it comes to the run game. Kevin, if he's taking on that many double teams, that means somebody else is free. That means somebody else can fill a gap. That means somebody else is, and Logan Wilson knows how to fill a gap. From what we've been told and what we've seen, what we watch, we see a guy that has good instincts at the linebacker position. That also means that somebody else on the defensive line most of those guys should have one-on-ones. And now is Ezraku going to take advantage of that one-on-one? Is Osa going to take advantage of that one-on-one? That's the difference. Is we've seen a lot of one-on-ones. They'll take Kenny Clark out of a play. Can they take both Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams out of a play by saying we're going to one-on-one you guys? That's going to be the difference for me, Kevin. That's what I'm anticipating should be a little bit different. Is Quinnen Williams is going to affect it by giving other guys better space.